Hey guys, what is cracking? It's Krakenation here, coming at you guys today with another little series we're going to be launching. This one's going to be a quick mini series where we're going to be talking about Pokemon that you could pick up in your playthrough of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl that could be really useful to you, not only in-game to help you beat the gyms and beat the Pokemon League and all that good stuff, get through the game storyline, but also then kind of help you transition into competitive Pokemon once you're done with that. If you have Pokemon that you want to pick up while you're going, if you want to EV train while you're going, you want to make sure you're getting the right moves, I'm going to be talking about some stuff that you could be doing and things you could be catching along the way that could not only be a really good part of your in-game team, but also could transition into a competitive team. Because that's, again, what this channel is all about, helping players transition and learn about competitive Pokemon. And I think what better way to do this with a new game coming out than talking about Pokemon. You'll be seeing these as you're traveling through the Sinnoh region. What Pokemon will you be trying to catch as you're going? So this is just my advice. There's going to be a few different videos and just kind of be talking about like what first of all, we're going to talk about what they're going to be looking for, so where you can look for them. So maybe that's like what route or cave or whatever. We're going to talk about some suggested abilities to look for. So let's say, just catch a few of them. Try to see if you can get a Pokemon that has an ability that boosts one of these stats. Those would be the most important stats on those Pokemon. And finally, then we're going to talk about some moves that you can try to teach them along the way that will translate the best into competitive atmospheres. Okay, so right off the bat, I want to talk about some criteria for what we're going to be looking at when we're examining these Pokemon. First up off the bat, Pokemon that are viable in both the main story and high-level competitive play. That's kind of what I was talking about. Just Pokemon that will carry you through the game and be really useful in the game, but also then you don't want to be picking up Beautifly non-stop, and then when you go to try to play in competitive Pokemon, Beautifly gets absolutely smacked because that thing's a piece of crap. So you're going to want to be taking a look, but there's also another lens I want to take here, and that's that Pokemon that are easily attainable, so no trading or events. That unfortunately eliminates a lot of really good Pokemon, so like the Steelix, Gengars, things like that. I'm pretty sure like Magmortar, Electivire, a lot of really cool Pokemon that are actually have some competitive viability. We're not going to be taking a look at because we want Pokemon that when you buy your copy of Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, you don't need to trade. You don't need to like have like a bunch of fancy things that kind of like event Pokemon. You don't need to have Pokemon that transit, like are you a gen in or anything, hopefully, or a Pokemon that you brought in from another game, transferred in from maybe a previous generation or whatnot. So we want to talk about Pokemon that you can pick up in the game and play within the game without ever needing to do any of that. So we're going to make sure these Pokemon are easily attainable. Now, unfortunately, some Pokemon, even on this list, are going to have a harder time being as good. Like you'll see, for example, as we go through the series, there's some moves that Pokemon need either breeding, which is another thing I'm not going to be talking about, is if you want Pokemon that you have to breed for, that's another level. Again, this is Pokemon that you can use in your playthrough that you can then transition with to competitive Pokemon. So breeding is another thing we're not going to be looking at, things like that. So those kind of moves are unfortunately out the window. So we're going to be left to some basic bare bones Pokemon here, which is pretty exciting, I think. So let's go ahead and take a leap into it, shall we? First up, when you're starting your game off, what starter should you be picking if you want to be as competitive as possible right off the bat? That's got to be Infernape. And Empoleon is a pretty good choice too. Empoleon also a very good Pokemon, but I would say arguably Infernape is the top starter if you want to have the best competitive chances afterwards. But again, Empoleon pretty good, Torterra not so good, unfortunately, unless you get Shell Smash. We'll see about that. But obviously, where to catch this. This is a starter Pokemon, so you don't need to worry about where you're catching it. You'll be getting Chimchar at the beginning of the game. The best natures, you have a lot of options here. Plus attack, plus special attack, or plus speed are all very good options. You really don't want to lower this Pokemon's offense, so if you're ending up with a plus speed Infernape, make sure you're not lowering those offenses. It's got a lot of viable moves. This was quite the long list, I realized, but we're going to be looking at Close Combat is a move it learns through level up. That's going to be extremely powerful. Also, Flare Blitz, Mach Punch, Earthquake is another really good move that a lot of Pokemon learned. It has extremely wide distribution amongst Pokemon. Is a TM move on most Pokemon, so you're going to have to keep that in mind. You might not be able to teach it to a Pokemon over and like as many Pokemon as you want until you get that TR. Flamethrower, Fire Blast, obviously you can pick one of those two, don't take both. Stone Edge, U-Turn, Focus Blast, Swords Dance, Nasty Spot, worth mentioning. I've listed a lot of different moves here. I think when you have your Infernape, let's say you end up with that modest Infernape, you probably, which boosts your special attack, lowers your attack, then you're probably going to want to run a special Infernape, and you might want to focus on maybe Nasty Plot, Focus Blast, Fire Blast, something like that. But if you get a physical Infernape, you might want to focus on, Swords Dance, Close Combat, Mach Punch, Flare Blitz, Earthquake, things like that. So when you're building your Infernape, keep that in mind. Did you end up with a special or physical? And then try to EV train around that as much as possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next Pokemon here, and this is going to be Staraptor. Staraptor is available as a Starly throughout the game. You can find this in a whole bunch of places. Very easy to pick up right from the beginning, Route 201. So you can get this at a whole lot of places. Starly's easy to pick up. You're going to keep your eyes out for a Starly that has a plus attack or a plus speed nature. Those are going to be the two best competitive viable abilities, or sorry, natures on your Staraptor. Because those will obviously boost its most relevant stats. Staraptor does not have a great move pool, but it's pretty good at what it does. Both Intimidate and Reckless are good abilities if you have the choice between either. Brave Bird, Close Combat, U-Turn, all really 3 standard attacks. Double Edge is kind of hard to get in this generation, mostly acquired through breeding and whatnot, so that's going to be a little tougher. Fly, also a very good option if you can have it. U-Turn, very good in competitive play. U-Turn's a move that's not quite as powerful in-game, but if you can get U-Turn, it can still be useful. And then when you get to competitive play, U-Turn is obviously an incredibly beneficial move to have on your team. Infernape Prior also learns it. Quick Attack, get that useful priority, and then Swords Dance to turn this Staraptor into a threatening sweeper in both your playthrough, but also if you change it to competitive Pokemon, Swords Dance can make Staraptor an absolute menace to switch into. This is a Pokemon that I think is really cool because, you know, you can pick it up on Route 1 right away. It's your flying type. It's actually, I think, the most competitive bird, you know, because every Pokemon you have, like your Pidgeys and your, you know, Pidubs and all Starlies, for example. You've got your, like, Wingulls and your Talos. Every single generation of Pokemon has like these like birds that you pick up right at the start of the game. Staraptor is the only final evolution that really has competitive viability, like beyond like megas and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. This is a really cool Pokemon. I guess Talonflame, let me take that back. Talonflame was an absolute menace to society for a long time, but Talonflame has fallen very far from the heights that it once sat at with the Gale Wings nerf. So let's take a look at the next Pokemon on this list. This is going to be Roserade. Roserade is a really cool Pokemon. Unfortunately, it did lose a little bit in the way of losing hidden power in Gen 7. So that's going to be, or sorry, Gen 8. So that's going to be something you have to keep your eye out on. But if you can pick up a Badoo early in the game, Route 204, 212, and Eternaforce, all pretty early spots in the game. If you can pick one of these bad boys up, Badoo is going to be able to be evolved through friendship, and you're going to want to try to pick up a Badoo with a plus special attack or a plus speed nature. Those will make sure that your Roserade is ready to go when you get to competitive play. Obviously, as well, try to EV train around those stats as much as possible. Viable moves, again, not a very deep move pool here for Roserade, but you've got a lot of cool options because you can kind of go in a support moveset, or you can kind of go in an offensive moveset with Roserade. So that's things like, you know, if you want to go support, you could go Synthesis, Toxic Spike. It also gets like Aromatherapy, for example, but it also has offensive power. If you go with like Giga Drain, Energy Ball, Leaf Storm, Dazzling Gleam, Sludge Bomb, powerful stabs, access to recovery. Roserade is just a really well-rounded Pokemon that could be really effective in competitive formats, but also will take you very far. And as a Pokemon I have usually used in the game as well. I definitely think this is one that it's worth taking a look at if you're looking for a good grass type, a good way to beat waters in the early game. Roserade could be a great Pokemon to pick up. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at a Pokemon that is actually from a previous generation. I think it's the first one on this list that is not Gen 4 original. It also does not evolve, so it's going to be a little bit hard to catch this guy. But if you can get him, you can get him early, or her early, it early. But it's going to be very tricky to catch. It will take some work, so that's my point. And that's going to be Heracross. Heracross is basically, you can pick it up anywhere that a honey tree exists. Oops, sorry, this kind of popped in out of order, but you can pick it up anywhere where a honey tree exists. That's going to mean you can get it very early, but be careful because trying to catch this thing while you're still very low level may be very challenging. Plus attack, plus speed, those are your best options. Heracross is great as a wall breaker, and that's going to be kind of embodied by the move pool that it learns. Things like Mega Horn and Close Combat obviously just hit like an absolute truck. But then you've also got Sword Dance to kind of boost that even further. And then you've got some coverage options. Earthquake, Bullet Seed, Throat Chop, all some very viable coverage options. Finally, Spikes, because that's a move that actually got in Generation 7 by TM. It's pretty useful to learn. Gives it this kind of like utility role as well. So normally a Pokemon like this that has such shallow coverage options, it's really cool to have a fourth move like Spikes that gives you an option, and when you're not clicking a powerful attack, you can also still not be completely useless and click Spikes, get some hazards up. Could be very useful. The final Pokemon I'm going to be talking about in today's video is going to be Bronzong. Bronzong is a very cool Pokemon. Again, I really like this one. It's got a lot of competitive viability in a lot of different formats. Its best nature is going to be looking at attack, defense, or special defense. Well, these are popping up out of order. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry about that. But we got some viable moves here. Iron Head, Psychic, Gyro Ball, Stealth Rock, Zen Headbutt, Iron Head, Earthquake, Rock Slide. Again, what's cool about Bronzong is you can kind of go this offensive route and go with like Gyro Ball, Zen Headbutt, Earthquake, things like that. But also has the option to be pretty defensive. You could go like a Reflect Light Screen set for your competitive play, or you could go maybe like, you know, Stealth Rock, get some support moves in there. Now, I will say these kind of support Pokemon tend to be pretty bad in competitive. Sorry, it's going to be pretty good in competitive, but pretty bad in your playthrough of the game. So that's something you're going to need to be a little bit more careful of. It's kind of hard to level, and that's the biggest problem with these Pokemon individually. It makes leveling and grinding kind of a slog when your Pokemon can't attack that well. So, like, for example, if you're grinding on, like, let's say, you know, Starlies on Route 1 or whatever, you're going to have a hard time constantly clicking light screen to kill everything, right? So you're going to have to switch out to another Pokemon maybe, this and that. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. So you're going to want to try to run offensive Pokemon in general while you're playing your in-game format. And maybe if you do want to try to run some support moves, those are going to be more useful when you get to competitive play. Anyways, guys, that is all for today. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. I've got another couple of them planned already. Those will be out in the next few days. Let me know if you're excited. Let me know what Pokemon you guys want to see in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. Leave a like, hit that subscribe button. It's always so appreciated. I'm really excited for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I'm definitely going to be playing it, so I'm really amped for that. And hopefully these videos give you guys an idea of what you could be looking for in the next installment of your competitive Pokemon and Pokemon in-game journey. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Krakenation out.